You think Morty's just that awkward, jittery kid who's always knee-deep in some cosmic disaster? The one constantly running from monsters, getting tortured by Rick, and basically losing a piece of his soul every other episode? Think again. Believe it or not, underneath all that anxiety and those intergalactic scars, there's a side of Morty you probably never noticed. The ladies' man side. Yep, our Morty has actually tried to love.
You can put your fingers wherever you want.
Morty, you want to put it on mute or something? I'm trying to concentrate.
And in between all the chaos, he's broken rules, gotten tangled up in messy feelings, and of course had his heart smashed to bits. Each one of his romances is its own wild story, packed with twists and just the right amount of insanity that only Rick and Morty could pull off. Today, we're diving headfirst into this forgotten side of Morty, uncovering every crush, every passion, and every cosmic fling. Get ready for a trip through heartbreaks, bizarre crushes, and love stories that almost took down the entire universe. Jessica, the forever crush. From the very first episode, Jessica's been Morty's ultimate motivation, or at least his reason to try and act like a better person. She's not exactly his girlfriend, more like the definition of a high school crush. Popular, gorgeous, and totally out of reach.
2 plus 2.
Jessica.
5 plus 5.
Jessica.
Okay, good.
The kind of girl who makes Morty's heart race just by existing. In his desperate quest for her attention, Morty will do anything, even risk his life on Rick's insane missions. One of the best examples is in Rick Potion number 9. Morty begs Rick to whip up a love potion so Jessica will fall for him and go to the school dance with him.
Could you make some sort of chemical thing happen inside of Jessica's mind? You know, so where she falls in love with me and all that sort of thing? You know, like maybe make some sort of love potion or something?
Sounds simple, right? Yeah. No. The potion spirals into a mutant apocalypse that wipes out the world as they know it. In the end, Morty's obsession literally destroys his reality, forcing him to abandon his own universe. If that's not proof his crush on Jessica is pure chaos, I don't know what is.
A screwdriver so I can finish my ionic defibrillator.
Sure thing, Rick. Here's a screwdriver.
All right, Morty, thank you very much. We got 1 screw turn and 2 screw turns and...
The underground romance, Annie. In Anatomy Park, Morty gets sucked into a bizarre adventure inside the body of a homeless man Rick turned into a theme park. While he's supposed to be busy trying to impress Jessica, he unexpectedly meets Annie, one of the park's workers.
This is Roger and Annie.
For the first time, Morty isn't thinking about Jessica. Annie actually gets him. There's instant chemistry, and for a brief moment, Morty feels seen and appreciated.
Beside all of you. My story begins during the dot-com crash in the early 90s.
You can put your fingers wherever you want.
Morty, you want to put it on mute or something? I'm trying to concentrate.
They share a connection that feels real, even in the middle of a completely insane setting. But like most things in Morty's life, it doesn't last. The chaos of the mission, plus a few deadly threats inside the human park, cuts their connection short. Annie ends up trapped inside the homeless man's body, and just like that, whatever they had disappears.
Actually, I studied Dr. Bloom's work. I believe I have the knowledge necessary to create an entirely new, much safer park.
What about Pirates of the Pancreas?
I think it was one of the most underrated attractions.
Booyah! Hold your breath.
Hey, what the hell, Rick? What the hell? Man, I liked her!
It's a blink and you miss it romance, a reminder that in Morty's world, even the simplest connections are doomed from the start. The robot romance. Gwendolyn. In Raising Gazorpazorp, Morty ends up in one of his weirdest serious relationships ever. It all starts when Rick, after a lot of begging from Morty, buys him an alien sex robot named Gwendolyn from a shady shop. Morty spends the entire day with her. He's a teenage boy in the middle of puberty, so yeah, you can imagine where his mind's at.
Just going to pretend this isn't happening. I'm not saying that's a bad idea, just asking.
But what starts as a ridiculous joke takes a wild turn when Gwendolyn gets pregnant and gives birth to an alien baby, Morty Jr. Suddenly, Morty's forced into fatherhood and actually tries to be responsible. The problem? His relationship with Gwendolyn is completely hollow, because she's literally just a robot. The episode ends on an even stranger note. Morty Jr. grows up locked inside the house during his entire adolescence and later writes a scathing book about how terrible his dad was. Honestly, the whole thing is peak Rick and Morty absurdity. The Clean, Morty's girlfriend, Stacy. What if Morty could get rid of all his insecurities? In this episode, that's exactly what happens. After a long, stressful adventure, Rick and Morty use a detox machine that strips away their toxic traits, leaving behind confident, self-assured versions of themselves. The new Morty is smooth, fearless, and instantly scores a date with Jessica. But when that date flops, he quickly moves on and meets Stacy, a girl at a bar who finds him absolutely fascinating. In this new life, Morty becomes a stockbroker, Stacy becomes his perfect partner, and everything seems to click. But here's the catch. Clean. Morty can't connect emotionally. The relationship stays shallow, and eventually he cheats on Stacy with someone he finds more fitting for his upgraded lifestyle.
I can cancel.
We'll be together. That's a date.
You are the perfect man.
It all ends abruptly when Rick and Morty's toxic traits are reabsorbed, snapping them back to their regular selves and erasing the whole relationship. The romance erased by the acid vat. This might be one of Morty's most heartbreaking love stories, even though we never learned the girl's name. In the Vat of Acid episode, Morty argues with Rick about how easy it would be to restart life from scratch.
What about my video game style place-saving device?
Oh my God, here we go.
To prove a point, Rick gives him a remote control that saves his place in reality. Morty uses it to flirt with a girl in a store, and what follows is one of the most beautiful montages in the series. They fall in love, move in together, travel the world, and build a full life. For a moment, it feels like Morty has finally found real happiness. Then, disaster strikes. After a plane crash, they end up stranded on an island with no food, forced to do the unthinkable to survive. Just when things seem impossible, they're rescued, and their love continues until Jerry accidentally resets everything, confusing the reality-saving remote with the TV remote. The entire relationship is erased, leaving Morty without even the memory of it. It's proof that when it comes to love, Morty might just be cursed. The most complicated love, Planetina. And now we've reached Morty's most intense, meaningful, and tragic romance, Planetina. She's a superhero Morty meets during an outing with Rick, and for the first time, Morty gathers the courage to ask someone out on a proper date. They fall for each other fast, and it feels real. This time, Morty actually has a girlfriend. But things get messy when Planetina's handlers see Morty as a distraction from their money-making scheme. Morty fights back, kills them, and chooses to cut ties with his parents so he can be with her.
And Planetina's the only one I've ever met that makes me feel like I belong, and you just kicked her out of our house!
Morty, please.
I will never forgive you for this!
At first, it seems like they could make it work, until Morty learns the dark truth about her environmental mission. Her methods include mass killings, and Morty's forced to face the fact that the person he loves is crossing lines he can't accept. Heartbroken, he lets her go, ending their relationship in one of the most gut-wrenching breakups of the entire show.
Fuck you.
Conclusion: even with all the wild interdimensional adventures, Morty's heart isn't immune to drama and romance. Over the seasons, we've seen that he's more than just the scared kid tagging along with Rick. He's a teenager craving real connections, falling in love, and often very awkwardly, trying to make things work. Some girls, like Jessica, became the driving force behind many of his adventures. Others, like Planetina or Stacy, prove that even Morty can experience deep, complicated relationships, though they almost always end in the weirdest way possible. So now the question is, out of all of Morty's romances, which one do you think was the best match for him? Jessica, Stacy, Planetina, or maybe one you totally forgot about?